YouTube, what's good, y'all, man? It's your boy Justice coming at y'all with another YouTube read, another collective energy read. Hope this finds you guys at a clarifying time of your day. Remember to take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. Hope this finds you guys at a time that is aligned for you. Remember, this is a test of intuitive discernment. Not everything is going to be meant for you. So remember to exchange what is meant for you or feels to be. Let's go and get started. Angels of the highest of our light, please, and most high, please bestow upon me clear, concise channel messages that accommodate with my main general message that I have prepared. Thank you, and Ashe. Whoever this is for, you see beyond normal comprehension, and you have a certain way of getting information that entices people or startles people. In terms of you seeing outside of a realm, or maybe you're receiving information outside of a realm that is outside of the five senses or outside of the dimensionality of human consciousness. A lot of you guys understand things in ways that you don't understand how you understand, right? If that makes sense. A lot of you guys understand things from perspective that may not come from this lifetime. A lot of you guys understand a perspective that comes from within you or within your soul that you may not be able to explain or others may not be able to explain. A lot of you guys may startle people with the information or the outcomes, or maybe the outcomes you see into. A lot of you guys can see into future outcomes. That was specific. Whether that's registering some type of warning or message, or you foreseeing something, forecasting something. A lot of you guys have that intuitive, kind of sensitivity to where you can sense into how things will play out based off of circumstances prior to. But there's a lot of different kind of exchanges of gifts that I'm going to get into. But a lot of you guys have extracurricular gifts. And when I'm saying extracurricular, like that's literally what came to my head. But gifts that kind of, they kind of blow other senses out the water in terms of how other people perceive things. So maybe the way you perceive certain information or how you come to certain conclusions that you do is another way that I was going to explain to. It may startle people, confuse people, scare people even, in regards to maybe you coming to a certain truth, to a certain quickness. Or a lot of you guys get psychic downloads. A lot of you guys can hear things. A lot of you guys can see into, out of your visual eye, you can see into energy grids, you can see into other realities, or there's a lot of different things like that. A lot of you guys can see from a point of that is outside the veil, that is usually supposed to be covered in terms of the pineal gland, that is usually blocked in terms of common society, in terms of public population. It's usually a blocked concept, but nowadays these things are starting to awaken more and more, the more people are becoming aware as a collective unit, right? But a lot of you guys have always been like this, or always been like close or something like that, in some kind of way that you register information that is completely outside this realm. You may not see it that way. You may perceive it totally different. You may perceive it as just downloads. You may perceive it as something else. But remember that we don't think thoughts. Thoughts don't think themselves. Thoughts are receivers. The brain is a receiver functionality for what it is sensing or communicating with outside of you, right? And that doesn't always mean just the physical, spiritual, emotional or psychological. Those correlations can go to a bigger spiritual level a lot of times. And a lot of you guys are very tapped into these things. And a lot of people may be, dumbfounded. A lot of you guys don't share your information. I'm being highlighted to go into that. A lot of you guys don't share the information you come to the conclusion of because of maybe fear of ostracization or how other people perceive you. A lot of you guys may share your ideas intuitively with like a select group or with nobody, some of you, right? There's not a lot of things that you could divulge into or maybe be able to explain. That could be for some people in regards to information that you come to or how you come to said information. A lot of you guys have a certain way of communicating, whether it's with spirit, whether it's with your ancestors, whether it's with outside this realm, right? Whether it's with God, whether it's with whatever it is that jurisdicts this information coming outside the five senses, right? A lot of you guys come to conclusions very quick and very instantaneously, or certainly, right? It doesn't have to be instantaneously. It's not always instantaneous. But a progressive theme for this message is the fact of the matter that a lot of you guys that are probably aligned to this message, you come to a certain point of certainty in regards to maybe, you don't look at it as certainty. Maybe you guys are still working with trusting your intuition. A lot of you guys are still working with, not, reprogramming the mind from gaslighting itself from what, what's accumulated in logical thinking or what people are prone to think or believe, right? And so that goes directly into a lot of you guys not really divulging too much information. A lot of you guys could be my true speakers. A lot of you guys could be on a content creating platform like myself, doing similar things, right? Shout out to you guys. A lot of you guys don't really share this information. There's something about highlighting like downloads or keeping up with certain things, like journaling certain things could be important for somebody in regards to keeping up with the, so for example, like dream interpretations, that's another channel message I'm being just highlighted to go into. A lot of you guys could have a gift of interpreting things from visions or from some type of scenery that's outside this realm, right? And so dream interpretations came to my head like Joseph. It came to my head just like that, right? Or Daniel, right? There's something about the interpretation that comes from you understanding maybe a logo or a picture or maybe a scene, right? But it may not be so simple, or it may be simple as a scene or a picture or a logo, but to you, you may connotate a whole different message that could help somebody else, or it could help yourself, right? Or it could help you with an answer you were trying to come to the conclusion of, right? A lot of you guys communicate with spirit and may not be so aware of it, not to say that people are not. I think a lot of you guys, probably 75%, 80% of you guys are very aware of what you're communicating with or your sense of communication style itself, right? And so a lot of you guys may startle people with these extraordinary, visionary concepts, or the free mind is being signified to me. So your sense of equilibrium in your mind, a lot of you guys have registered in equilibrium through your polarities, whether it's your masculine and feminine or your outside spiritual polarities in terms of dimensionalities, right? A lot of you guys are communicating with multiple dimensions of existence, and you may not really understand or really may not be aware of it fully. A lot of you guys are, right? But they're all simultaneously existing at the same time. So a lot of you guys understand the quantum level of things. And when I say quantum level of things, like quantum physics, but in a way that you understand your highest self, your lowest self. You understand the trajectory of that totem pole, that ladder, so to speak. And so a lot of these things with soul evolution on this planet that we're here to do is to go up that ladder, right? And to unify certain things or integrate certain things for a higher, whether it's an experience or a higher understanding of the experience itself, right? And so a lot of you guys have this understanding or this knowledge or the key to it. And so I think there's some type of presiding in terms of like, I'm getting like channel messages for like, push that idea out, push that content out. You may not know who you affect, right? Push those thoughts out. You never know who really will hear you, listen to you, or hear you out, or come to their own conclusion based off of what you're seeing or depicting or spreading, right? And so that's kind of a message I'm getting. But a lot of you guys have a theme of knowing things without knowing things, right? So claircognizance is significant, but clairaudience is the hearing one, right? Clairsentience is the feeling one. There's a lot of other ones. I always forget them when I get started on the video and stuff, like clairvoyance, seeing, right? But there's a lot of other ones. But a lot of you guys communicate with spirit in certain ways that are tailor-made to you, subjective to you, in a way that you can convey maybe future experiences, or you can convey a dream interpretation, or you can convey somebody's energy through some type of interpretation of how you're sensing the energy, which is always going to be subjectively different for everybody I'm coming across, right? But a lot of you guys can convey certain messages or convey certain talents through these gifts that I'm being ushered to kind of push that a little more, or an encouragement to people that are continuously doing it or have started, or things like that. That is kind of my presiding with this message so far. But let's get into the startling part. It may be startling to people that you know what you know. It may be very, very uncertain, or you may cause people to feel panic or uncertain or timidness from what you know or understand, or what people think that you can read off of them, right? A lot of you guys can read through people or read through situations very fast. A lot of you guys are very introverted in a way that you're spiritually introverted. You may be extroverted physically. A lot of you guys may have that, there's probably a half and half kind of polarity, but a lot of you guys may have this kind of fluctuating introvert kind of like spirituality to you, to where you're taking in information all the time. You're just taking in information, you're observing, you're recording, you're taking that back somewhere, right? And so a lot of times we're not really realizing how much information or data we're collecting, right? And so overstimulation can also be a thing or a theme in this read. In regards to cleansing your energy out proactively, I need to cleanse my own energy out. But there's something about understanding the processing and the easiness or the flow of your processing to be a lot smoother when your energy is cleared out, especially if you're intaking information on a higher level, because your sensitivity is enhanced. That could be a message for somebody in terms of environmental situations, things like that. If you're getting an intuitive nudge from things like that, you must move in a certain according to that and follow that intuition and strengthen it more and more and more. A lot of you guys are very intuitively sound in terms of your connection to your crown, right? And so a lot of times, like, you're receiving downloads from a source or from your ancestors, from your higher self, whatever that source may be, right? And there's something about a ushering in terms of moving into that direction a little more, maybe not aggressively, but more rapidly or more proactively, consistently, in a way that, not in a way, but for this day and age that's coming up. There's a lot of shifts and changes that you guys have been sensing, and I've been talking about it for a while because it's going to start popping up in worldly orders, worldly issues, right? And so a lot of you guys are being ushered to kind of follow in that nudge or whatever that risk takes you, or whatever that sharing or the invoking of something that you may fear doing, but embracing it and kind of pushing it out, or receiving it, or some type of trusting of said information or how you're receiving the information to push you into that ushering. I think that's my last one for this one. It's very quick, even though it's 12 minutes, but I've been kind of flowing really quick. You may have to kind of go back and things like that. But if you need a personal with me, hit up Shamika, son with a C, and Shamika@gmail.com. I appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. I got 3 partnerships going on. If you're interested in 20% off of any one of those, in the comment description section below. But either way, it's your boy Justice. I got to charge my phone, and I'm going to get started on another reading. But it's your boy Justice. Peace out, y'all.